Ladies and gentlemen, let me take something real today. You can always tell when a man is deeply attracted to you, not because he says it, not because he posts about it, but because his spirit moves different when you walk into the room. See, real attraction ain't loud, it's not desperate, it's powerful in silence. When a man truly wants you, he don't have to announce it. You can feel it in the way he looks at you, and how his energy shifts when you speak, and how he listens when everybody else just hears noise. When a man is truly attracted to you, consistency is the language he speaks louder than any word he'll ever say. See, anybody can talk a good game. Anybody can tell you how fine you are, how special you are, how different you are. But a man who's really into you, he proves it day after day. You don't have to chase him, remind him, or question him. His actions line up with his intentions, and his presence speaks for itself. When he says he'll call, he does. When he says he'll show up, he's there. Not because he's trying to impress you, but because he respects your time and values your energy. That's how you know attraction has turned into something real. Now, let me tell you something, ladies. A man who's not consistent is a man who's not sure. When a man is unsure, he's unpredictable. One day he's warm, the next day he's cold. But when he's deeply attracted to you, he doesn't play guessing games. He wants you to know that you matter, that you're not just another name in his phone. He'll make sure his actions bring you peace, not confusion, because he knows that a woman who's at peace is a woman who will bring him peace in return. And trust me, that's what real men crave, peace, not problems. So when he starts moving consistently, calling you regularly, making time for you even when he's busy, that's not a small thing. That's a man showing his hand without saying a word. Consistency is a man's way of saying you're not temporary. He invests his time, his attention, his energy because he sees value in you. And understand this, a man only invests where he sees potential. He might spend money anywhere, but he'll spend time only where his heart is. That's why when you see consistency, you're looking at commitment in disguise. Every text he sends, every plan he makes, every effort to check in, it's all part of how he builds connection. You don't have to force it or remind him because real interest doesn't need reminders. He just does it naturally because you're on his mind. And see, consistency also shows up in how he treats you. Not just when things are easy, but when they're tough, when misunderstandings happen, when emotions get heavy, when you test his patience a little. That's when you really see the truth. If he stays patient, calm, and respectful, that's not weakness. That's maturity. That's attraction backed by respect. He's showing you that his feelings don't disappear when things get inconvenient. He's showing you that he's attracted not just to your looks, but to your character. So if he's texting you good morning every day, if he checks how your day went, if he keeps showing up with the same energy week after week, don't overlook that. That's not just routine. That's interest. Men are creatures of pattern. And when his pattern revolves around you, that's real. When he makes you a part of his daily rhythm, that means he's drawn to your presence. He doesn't have to say he likes you 1,000 times. His consistency says it for him because love might start with a spark, but it stays alive through consistency. And a man who's deeply attracted to you will never risk losing that spark through neglect. When a man is deeply attracted to you, you can see it in his eyes and feel it in his energy long before he ever says a word. His gaze tells on him. There's something different about the way he looks at you. It's not just curiosity, it's connection. His eyes don't wander, they set on you like you're the only person in the room. That's because in his mind you are. The world fades out a little when you speak, and every gesture, every smile you make pulls him closer without you even trying. He's not just seeing your beauty, he's seeing your presence. That's what draws him in. You might catch him looking at you when you're not looking, not because he's being bold, but because he's caught up in something he doesn't fully understand yet. Attraction that runs deeper than logic. Energy doesn't lie, and when a man's truly attracted, his energy moves toward you naturally. It's in the way his body shifts when you walk in the room. He might lean closer without realizing it. His tone softens, his laugh gets warmer, and he listens more closely. He's drawn to your voice, your movement, your essence. Even in a crowd, you'll feel that pull between you, that unspoken connection that only the two of you notice. That's not a coincidence. That's his energy responding to yours. Attraction has a frequency, and when it's genuine, you both feel it vibrate without saying a thing. And ladies, let me tell you something. When a man's energy keeps finding you, even in silence, that's a sign you've got his full attention. He might try to play it cool, but the way his energy lights up around you gives him away every time. His posture changes, his confidence rises, but his ego quiets. It's like his entire being wants to connect, but doesn't want to mess it up. That's why some men act nervous around a woman they're deeply attracted to, because they're not just trying to impress, they're trying to align. They're feeling something that shakes them a little, something real. And it's not always about physical attraction either. Sure, he might love how you look, but what holds his eyes is how you are, the way you carry yourself, the calmness in your voice, the way you treat others. That's what pulls him in deeper. Men are visual creatures, yes, but when a man's deeply attracted, the attraction goes past his eyes and sits in his spirit. You become a kind of peace he didn't know he needed. Your energy becomes a safe place he wants to return to. Even when you're not around, he feels that absence. He starts thinking about you out of nowhere, replaying your words, smiling at memories he didn't mean to keep. That's energy. That's connection. When you occupy a man's thoughts without even trying, you've made an impression no other woman has. That's not something you can fake or force. It's something that just is. A man's eyes may notice beauty everywhere, but when his soul feels something for you, that energy won't let him look away. When a man is deeply attracted to you, he starts to prioritize your happiness over his comfort. That's one of the truest signs of genuine connection, when he begins to make choices that aren't just about what he wants, but about what you need. See, a man who's only interested in you for attention or appearance will never inconvenience himself for you. But a man who's emotionally drawn to you, who feels that deep pull in his heart, he'll go the extra mile just to see you smile. He'll listen when you talk about your day, not because he has to, but because he wants to. He'll remember the little things you say, your favorite snack, that song you love, the way your mood changes when you're tired. Because your happiness matters to him more than his own convenience. When a man starts prioritizing your happiness, his actions become more thoughtful. He'll show up when you least expect it, not to impress you, but to support you. Maybe he brings you coffee when you had a long day, or maybe he takes care of something small you mentioned once and forgot about. That's not random. That's love in motion. He's paying attention. He's thinking about how to make your life easier, lighter, better. That's because a man who's truly attracted to you wants to add to your peace, not disturb it. He knows that if you're happy, the energy between you stays good, and that matters to him more than his own comfort zone. Sometimes prioritizing your happiness means he'll swallow his pride just to keep things right. He'll apologize first, not because he's weak, but because he values you more than his ego. That's rare, ladies. Men don't do that for just anyone. A man's pride is sacred to him, but when he's deeply attracted, he'll let it bend for you. He'll compromise, he'll listen, he'll adjust. And not because you demanded it, but because he wants to be the reason you feel loved and understood. He wants to be your peace, not your problem. You'll also notice that his decisions start to include you even when you're not around. When he makes plans, he considers how they might affect you. When he talks about his future, your name slips into the conversation naturally. That's a man who's prioritizing your happiness because your presence has become part of his purpose. He's not thinking short term anymore. He's thinking about us instead of me. And here's the beauty of it. When a man is deeply attracted to you, he finds joy in your joy. If you're laughing, he's fulfilled. If you're sad, he feels it too. He starts to mirror your emotions because his heart is connected to yours. He becomes protective not just of your body, but of your spirit. He wants to see you grow, glow, and win. That's how you know his attraction is real. It's not selfish. It's giving, because when a man's truly drawn to you, your happiness becomes his motivation, and making you smile becomes his daily reward. When a man is deeply attracted to you, he'll protect your heart like it's his own. It's not always about grand gestures or big heroic moves. Sometimes it's in the quiet things he does when nobody's watching. He becomes careful with his words, gentle with his tone, and intentional with his actions because he understands your emotions matter. A real man who's drawn to you doesn't want to be the reason you lose trust in love. He knows what it feels like to be hurt, so he guards your heart with empathy. He pays attention to what makes you uncomfortable and what makes you light up. He listens when you talk about your past, not to judge, but to learn how to love you better. That's protection, not just from the world, but from his own flaws. When a man's attraction runs deep, he starts thinking about how to make you feel safe emotionally. He doesn't just tell you what you want to hear, he tells you the truth, even when it's hard. Because honesty builds trust. And he knows that protecting your heart means keeping it free from confusion and false promises. He'll never play with your feelings or keep you guessing about where you stand. He'll make sure you feel secure in his presence. That kind of man understands that emotional safety is the foundation of any real connection. And when he's attracted to you, your peace becomes his mission. He'll notice how he becomes patient with you. He won't rush you into opening up or try to force you into anything you're not ready for. He lets you take your time because he's not chasing a moment. He's building something meaningful. That patience is part of how he protects you. He respects your boundaries, not because it's a rule, but because it's a reflection of how much he values you. A man who's deeply attracted doesn't see boundaries as barriers. He sees them as a map that helps him understand how to love you right. Sometimes his protection shows up in small ways. He'll walk on the side of the street, close to the cars. He'll make sure you get home safe. He'll check in just to make sure you're okay. Those gestures might seem simple, but they come from a place of deep care. A man who's truly into you doesn't want you to worry when he's around. He wants you to breathe easier, He wants you to know that when life gets rough, he's someone you can count on. And it's not just physical protection, it's emotional and spiritual too. When you're down, he'll lift you up. When you doubt yourself, he'll remind you who you are. He'll speak life into you when you can't find the words for yourself. That's the kind of protection that comes from real attraction, from genuine connection. When a man sees your heart as something precious, he won't play with it, he'll protect it. Because to him, your happiness and safety are not just his responsibility, they're his privilege. When a man is deeply attracted to you, his respect will speak louder than his flirtation ever could. You'll notice it in the way he talks to you, the way he looks at you, and even in the way he speaks about you when you're not around. Respect is the foundation of genuine attraction, because when a man truly values who you are, he doesn't just admire your beauty, he honors your essence. He watches how you move, how you think, and how you handle yourself, and that draws him in even deeper. He's not just impressed by what he sees, he's moved by what you stand for. That's the difference between lust and admiration. A man who's only looking for attention will flatter you with words, but a man who's truly attracted will back it up with behavior. When a man respects you, he's mindful of his tone. He won't raise his voice at you, talk over you, or make you feel small. Even in disagreement, he'll handle you with care because he knows words can cut deeper than any blade. He doesn't flirt just to get your attention. He communicates to build understanding. He listens when you speak and remembers what you say, not because he's trying to score points, but because he values your mind. You can tell when a man respects you by the way he listens, not by the compliments he gives. Respect is quiet, steady, and real, and that's what makes it powerful. He also respects your time. He won't keep you waiting, cancel at the last minute, or treat your availability like an afterthought. If he says he's going to do something, he does it. If he makes plans, he follows through, because when a man sees your worth, he knows your time is precious. He understands that reliability builds trust, and trust builds connection. Man who truly respects you won't play games with your emotions. He'll create stability with his consistency. He'll protect your heart by honoring his word. And it's not just how he treats you that reveals his respect. It's how he treats others when you're around. Watch how he talks to waiters, how he handles frustration, how he speaks about women in general. A man's respect isn't something he can fake in one area and neglect in another. If he's respectful at his core, it'll show in everything he does. You'll see that his character doesn't change depending on who's watching. That's the kind of man whose attraction carries depth, not ego. When a man's deeply attracted, he sees you as more than someone to impress. He sees you as someone to honor. He won't pressure you to move faster than you're ready, and he won't use your vulnerability against you. He'll make space for you to be yourself. He'll want you to feel safe being open, confident, and strong. Because to him, respect isn't a strategy, it's his way of showing love. And when that kind of man looks at you, you can feel it, not in the way he stares, but in the way he treats you like you're someone who truly matters. When a man is deeply attracted to you, his actions will expose what his words can't hide. You'll see it in the small things he does, in the quiet moments when no one's watching. He might not say, "I love you" right away, but he'll show it in the way he consistently shows up. Because real attraction, real connection doesn't live in words, it lives in effort. It lives in showing up when it's inconvenient, caring when it's not required, and choosing you when it would be easier not to. That's when you know he feels something deep. His actions begin to speak a language his mouth isn't ready to say out loud. When a man's drawn to you on that level, you don't have to question where you stand with him. His actions make it clear. If you need something, he's already thought of it. If you're going through something, he's already there. He doesn't ask for recognition or credit because his motivation isn't attention, it's care. A man's heart speaks through his behavior. If he's consistent, if he's intentional, if he shows up when it matters most, that's love trying to find its way through him. Words can be rehearsed, but actions are raw truth. They reveal everything. You'll notice how he starts to protect your peace without even realizing it. He won't bring unnecessary drama into your life. He won't play games. Instead, he'll create a calm space for you to just be. That's because his attraction isn't about chasing a thrill. It's about finding comfort in your presence. You'll see it in the way he starts to make room for you in his world, adjusting his habits, prioritizing your feelings, planning his time around what matters to you. These are not small gestures. They are signs of emotional alignment. He's showing you that his attraction is rooted in something stable, something sincere. Sometimes a man's actions reveal his heart in subtle ways. Maybe he opens doors for you, not out of obligation, but respect. Maybe he checks on you after a long day, not because he has to, but because he wants to know you're okay. Maybe he remembers things you said weeks ago and brings them up later in conversation. Those are the signs. That's when you realize this man is paying attention. He's observing, absorbing, and connecting. His actions have rhythm, and that rhythm is you. And even in moments when he's distant, his care shows. He might not be overly expressive, but you'll still feel his presence in small, thoughtful ways. Because real men don't always talk about their emotions, they move through them. They show love through commitment, not chaos. When a man's deeply attracted to you, his words might hesitate, but his actions won't. His behavior will tell the truth every single time. You won't have to decode it, chase it, or question it. You'll just know because his actions won't let you forget